Thank you, Dr. Corvera and panelists, for giving the space sector an important human perspective and explaining its relevance for overcoming humanitarian crises here on Earth. We started with Remco's talk, in which we discussed this call for adventure that many of us have, about the magnetism of the space sector that explains why many of us are here today in this room. And now I'd like to stick to the idea of this call for action. We all need to become advocates of collaboration, open data, and space services that support humanitarian operations on Earth. For example, by providing satellite data at high resolution and with minimal latency. So thank you to the panelists for this incredible conversation. And I'd like now to pivot our attention towards the third and last panel of the day, in which we will explore the transformative potential of space for creating smart and resilient regions. In this panel, our panelist and moderator will explore how space technologies can stimulate innovation and lead to important social impacts in the fields of human connectivity, transport, and mobility. By exploring the synergy between space and regional planning, they will help us redefine the concept of smart cities, extending it to include that of the smart regions of tomorrow. So for this panel, I would like to introduce our moderator, Mrs. Elena Cristóbal. Mrs. Cristóbal is a civil engineer specialized in urban planning with over 8 years of experience in the transport and mobility sectors. She started her professional career in the UK, where she took part in many international transport planning teams for multinational consulting companies. And right now, Mrs. Cristóbal is an innovation project manager at CARNET Barcelona, where she works on designing and developing new mobility solutions to handle and satisfy the requirements of modern society. So please take it away. I welcome these speakers to the stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'll wait until they take their seat so that I can introduce you, putting faces to names instead of just reading, which is what normally happens. So hello, welcome. With us today, we have Pilar Conesa here. I first of all ask you apologies, I'll be reading because their biographies and their whole experience is that amazing that I've not been able to memorize it. So we have Pilar here. She's the CEO at Autoritat. Autoritat is a private consultancy with a mission to lead and support projects that empower cities, governments, and companies to unlock their potential so that the innovation is effective. She's one of the pioneers of the Smart City Expo World Congress. So congratulations for that. It's such a great one in the world industry. And as part of her experience, she's been, among others, the CIO at Barcelona City Council. Then we have Carme Fabregas here. She's the CTO at Metropolità Transport Authority of Barcelona. She's got over 2 decades of experience in the public transport sector. And at the moment, she's committed to create that digital transformation that involves fostering all that new cultural change by facilitating the expansion of transport into sustainable mobility as a service that societies are currently demanding, not just at a city level, but also more regional level, which is the panel about. And last but not least, we have Jaume Sanpera. He is the CEO at Sateliot. He's been an entrepreneur for many years, as I've been told, creating several companies, most of them in the telecommunications industry. He's now leading Sateliot, as I just said, who is, I've been told, is launching the first LEO satellite constellation based on the 5G standard to allow IoT devices to be installed anywhere, regardless the technologies that are there landed and in a real connected world. So hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I think what is bringing us here today is that we have two different matters, which is the eldest one, the most antique, that is regional planning, that has shaped the culture, the way that society and the world has evolved, including wars, including countries, including political, geopolitical strategies. So it really has impacted everyone that is in here and the way that the civilization has actually ended up being today. And on the other hand, we had aerospace and satellite technologies, which is like the newest that is having. So we can see challenges and also opportunities in merging these two things in a way that really keeps us growing and not just keep evolving as it goes, but leading. So I think the first question that I have for you all independently is, can you tell me a bit of your experience in merging these two separate topics, and whether you found any challenges, any opportunities in your industry, something that you would like to share with us? And I think I will start with Jaume, because the context, so I will let you go.
Honestly, I don't know a lot about smart regions, okay? I will try to introduce some of the concepts that may impact on smart regions, changing the way that today have evolved. And the first one is LEO constellations. Since today, most of the satellites that have been deployed, they have been GEO satellites. GEO satellites are, as you know, satellites that goes around the world with the same spinning at the same time that the Earth. Then here the impact is that you select a specific regions where you want to deliver the service. You say, okay, let's do the service in Spain, Italy, Morocco, okay, and then you place the satellites over these places, okay, and you have a specific regions. With LEO, it changed completely. LEO satellites are satellites that fly at low Earth orbit and goes around the world super fast, 90 minutes every 90 minutes they spin the world, okay? This means that you have changed completely the way that these services are delivered geographically. With the first one, with the GEO, you select regions. With the LEO, you cannot. You have, for physical reasons, you have coverage everywhere. You have the same service with the same, almost the same capacity in all places of the world. This is number one, okay, that I think that it changes because since today, okay, we the ones, okay, that we live in the first world, we are selecting satellites that deliver service to us, okay. With LEO, okay, you have the services available. That's an important way. The second is marginal cost. Once you have a LEO satellite constellation, the marginal cost of delivering the service in places where there is that's not your main market, it tends to zero. And this is super important because it means, okay, that you could adjust the cost of the services that you deliver to each of the different regions of the world that you want to deliver the service. And the third point is direct to device. Since today, all the satellites have been working with specific devices. You need an Iridium device to connect with Iridium satellite. You need a Hispasat device or Eutelsat device in order to connect with each one of these different satellites. The problem here is that those devices, they have no economies of scale. You have to think that in all the world, in places where there is coverage of the mobile operators, there are around 5 billion devices connected, and this is 20% of the world. In 80% of the world, there is only 4 million devices connected. All the satellite providers together, okay, they have only 4 million IoT devices connected. And the reason why is because a device manufactured by one of those satellite providers have no economies of scale, and it's super expensive. We are talking about 100, 200 euros each device in order to be connected. Since if we talk about standard devices, we're talking about $5, $10 device, which is absolutely different. Then these three concepts, you have coverage everywhere, doesn't matter where, okay? The marginal cost, it's very low. And the third point is that you may use any device that has all the economies of scale, like a mobile phone or like a sensor, that it's manufactured by millions, okay, change absolutely I believe, okay, let's see what will happen, okay, I believe that it will change completely where the smart regions will appear and the pace of disappearance everywhere, okay? And this is a way that I see that technology, it changes absolutely. The smart regions will not be close to the Barcelona, okay, because there are huge benefits on digitalization. We have already known, okay, that there are huge benefits in agriculture, in cattle management, in infrastructures, in logistics, okay, in transportations. All these benefits that we have now in these regions that have the lucky of have all the resources to develop this smart part will be available for the rest of the world as well.
That's great, and that also leads me to think about demand responsive transport in areas where we were talking earlier about the areas in Europe, in Spain particularly, that we call empty, and that perhaps are not being provided these services for transport, for mobility, even emergency services that can be sorted this way. Thank you. So I think I'm going to put you next, Pilar, because I think you're the union between the private sector and the public sector that we have here. So your turn. What's been your experience on this?
Okay. Jaume has said that he's not an expert of regions, but I am not an expert of satellites. So I learned a lot from Jaume just now. But thanks for the invitation to be at this panel. And I will give my vision from the smart city and the smart regions. First of all, the smart city and the smart region concept is coming to have an holistic view of all the areas involved in the city in order to improve the quality of life of people in terms of livable, sustainable, and have a city and region more connected and with a more livable level. So from this vision, the technology and the data is an accelerator, is something to accelerate the transformation of the city and help to change the services. In this environment, it's so important the satellite and all the information that provide. Also from the Earth observation and from the low Earth observation, in order all the services. From the Earth observation, it's clear that provide all the information about use land, about temperatures, about information that is used to improve the management of the infrastructure and improve the management of the services. From the low Earth observation, adding all the potential to connect Internet of Things is clearly something that add value for the smart cities in region in order to use all the information and to have information of quality of air, temperatures, for mobility, in order to get all the information about positioning, to have an accurate data in order to manage the position of all the transit, to manage all the transit control, and I understand that Carme will go with more detail in that. And also give a lot of information to for deploying the concept of digital twins. The digital twins is the concept of to reproduce a virtual city in order you can get to have all the information in a digital environment to in order to test changing in the urban planning, in the infrastructure, in the traffic areas, and how will affect the city. So all this information coming from the Internet of Things and the capability of satellite to get all the information and to distribute is so important in order to join with other data and to link with digital twins platforms, and also is can be a great tool for the urban planners in order to have a platform to check transformation, kinds of transformation of the city. So the potential is clear, and also I would like to remember or to emphasize also the importance of the satellites in order to give internet connection to rural areas, and for example, in Africa, it's so important the satellite internet connection because there is no fiber deployment. So for Africa, for several areas of Africa, is really the satellite connection has implied a change of a great transformation of services. No? So first of all, for the internet connection, but using all this in Internet of Things connection in order to improve city services, infrastructure, all the infrastructure involved, all that we can see in the previous session about how to respond to a different, to be more resilient or different great impacts in the cities. But also, I would like to finish with pointing with some challenges. And for me, we have the technology of deployed by satellites, and congratulations for all that Sateliot is doing, because it's crazy. So we have the technology and satellites, we have the Internet of Things, the connections, the platforms, but what I think that the great challenge is the standards and how to integrate the data coming from different sources, because it's needed to join data coming from ecosystems managed from the public organizations, from Barcelona City Council, for example, from the Transportation Authority, from other public organizations, but also from the private sectors, companies that are managing the infrastructure of the city, from the telco companies with information about coming from the smartphones in order to know how the people is moving in the city. And for me, the great challenge is the standards and the integration of all this data.
I'm glad you mentioned this, because it's been your fault, not mine. We'll discuss later about it.
Okay.
Bit time to fight. So, great. What I can say also is that then it seems like in history, transport or connectivity has been based on transport. It's been on roads, train, airplanes, etc. It seems like now, by what Pilar was just saying, we have a third one that is satellites, and that may not be involved that personal movement. So thank you. Carme, actually, apologies, I'm going to move because otherwise I cannot see you. It's your turn now. What's been your experience? What is the challenges and opportunities that you're seeing when merging these two so different topics?
Well, first of all, I'm really glad to have been invited to participate in such a congress, because apparently we would at first sight, think that public transport and the satellite economy is a bit distant, but to the contrary, for us is really remarkable what we can take advantage of in regard of this technology. In fact, we are, as Transport Authority, very much involved, of course, in the coordination of the public transport, which is beyond cities, the smart regions framework, our main focus. We have to point out, because mobility is quite a right every person has in an everyday basis. So in this regard, we have in our area, which is built up by big city of Barcelona, but also the suburban areas, just to reach an area which is home to 5 million people. And in this regard, we are in the somewhere down the way of developing our digital strategy. And in fact, it's been a while since we have already started to pull it all together, having very much in mind and really keeping up with the responsibility that we have as Transport Authority in regard of our responsibility of our actions have over the ecosystem, which is not only the transport operators, but also all the mobility services and the industry itself. So I think it's important to view that we spread an influence that has to be taken as the result of an overarching strategy. And in this regard, we are, as a matter of fact, I'd like to mention one of the projects we are now really in the ending of the rolling out, which will be very much underpinned by a project which is called Molière. I think yesterday all the attendees had the opportunity to know about this. And we took Molière as, well, we as Transport Authority have been, we are a partner of Molière, but in other projects of which I'd like to mention how this Molière has been underpinning our developments. We are now in the finish line of developing a multi-fleet platform, a digital platform, which is going to be making the bus operators manage their fleet mainly in these suburban areas, which is important for us to be effective and to be efficient, for them to be able to manage the fleet, but also to out of this let's say technicality, people will be enabled to be informed, and of course for us will be also a leverage to for new concept of transport, the one you mentioned, much more focused on the necessities that will arise out of this kind of demand response in transport, which for us will take very much sense in such areas where maybe regular public transport has not the same sense. And I'm proud to say that this platform is Galileo enabled. So for us, having this more precise accuracy on the location and for the flexibility that this kind of new concept of transport, which I mentioned, the demand responding transport, will be for us a leverage and a cornerstone to be deploying this kind of new services to approach people to the city and, of course, for their daily basis activities. For us, as I said, Molière, it's been underpinning not only this project but also all the concept of digital strategy, which is very much based on data. That's why for us, and as I said, to deploy or to influence the industry to open up their data sets or their data availabilities, which could go a bit after and a bit further, sorry, and the concept of data spaces for us is now in which we are very much focused.
How great!
Yeah, I'm only speaking on behalf of a team, which is I think our main asset at the Transport Authority, which is very much aware of the fostering that we can do among transport operators and mobility service providers and the industry, as I said before. If this is not done from the public stakeholders, I think we would be failing in our responsibility for the present and for the future.
Great. Fantastic. I think you answered my following question. We are now on an environment where people are changing, regions are changing. All the panels that we've had here yesterday, they were talking about quantum physics on space technology. So technology is changing, everything is going, but we still want to create that connection so that we're not independent people, but we're just a world connected and going forward in a united way. So on all those changes, who would you say that needs to lead, if someone? Because perhaps it's not a matter of leading, it's a matter of collaborating on a homogeneous way and from the same height. There's no one on the top. So what's your thoughts on that? And I think I will let you respond as you want. So who wants to go first?
I can go if you want. And your question, who has to lead, in fact, is the challenges we have are so big and with all the challenges, how we answer all the climate emergency, and because all the information that we talk at, that we can get from the satellites in the 2 levels of satellites is so crucial for how we can answer and to prepare. And I think it's needed an ecosystem of collaboration. It's not possible to lead only from the public sector or from the private sector. It's need to collaborate in order how to work together in order to create a real platform to use this information in mobility in order to have best mobility services and that cover the needs of the citizens. But and for this, is needed, for example, Sateliot is a private initiative. It's clearly this can accelerate the use to get all this information to use and to use for the city councils in order to manage in a better way the infrastructure and to planify and also to improve with the urban planification and with the city services. So this private initiative accelerates the transformation, but it's needed the collaboration with the public sector in order how to use all this information in order to connect with other information to provide a global ecosystem of data.
Great, and I think that defines Sanpera's mission, actually. So.
Yes. And one example of that is recently the Smart City Expo World Congress, what was held 3 weeks ago in Barcelona, with with more than 140 countries around the world, and there is clear the connection, and is a clear point of contact between governments, companies, research centers, entrepreneurs, in order how to accelerate this urban transformation.
Yeah, that was great to see. Actually, I had the pleasure of being there, and it's amazing how you walk around and you really cannot differentiate whether you're talking with a researcher or a member of the public authority or a startup. Like, yeah, perhaps the trainers or the way that some of us keep dressing up, but totally. So would you two agree? Because, of course, she's the one in the middle, but...
Yes, I fully agree with Pilar. I really believe that the challenges today are so large that even sometimes I think that Europe is too small to address some of the challenges. The only reflection that I may do in this sense is that the way we address the challenges from the public sector, maybe it have to change. Okay, I love the way United States with innovative purchases is pushing the private sector to address those. Okay, it's a mix. Okay, that change everything. I believe that, for example, in Europe with Iris Square, why now we are in a difficult situation in order to follow the objective that it was to have our own satellite constellation, and the way it has been addressed. Of course, it's easy to say it now, once we are where we are, okay? But the way it has been addressed, it's maybe it was not the right way to do it, okay? And then it's for sure it's a mix. The public sector is gaining more and more presence in these challenges, and we need to have a very strong, and I'm super happy when I listen some of these projects, okay, that are high-tech projects from the public sector. Okay, we need a very strong public sector, but at the same time, leaving all the flexibility and capabilities of the private to take it as soon as possible and as cheaper as possible to be a reality.
Totally. And it's clear that when we're talking about public initiatives, perhaps it's the public funding or just to demonstrate what can be developed from the public sector, but without the private initiatives. I mean, we're two parts of the same society, so no way that they can diverge. And if they diverge, we have issues, and I think everyone knows about that. So, Carme.
Well, I'd like to give my vision on this. As far as the Transport Authority, among the missions, one of these is the planning of transport. And of course, as I said, the suburban areas are very much in our main of the focus. My vision is that, or at least our vision as a transport authority is to see that as in a balanced way. which means that for us technology should be harnessed to address an overarching strategy. As I said, for me it's crucial to be taken in a concept of ecosystem, because transport is impacting urban planning, it's impacting climate change, it's impacting, so we have to address it in this ecosystem concept, not from a specificity which could be understood from our sector itself. But of course, mobility and public transport is playing a crucial role. And technology, of course, should be the response to the opportunities and challenges that come out from the planning, and in a reciprocal way, this planning should be flexible enough to accommodate the new technologies, among which the global navigation satellite systems or other technologies coming from this space technology, and take advantage of how this could be also fostering a new economy and a new way for people to improve on their daily life basis. So for me, it's kind of a balancing. Be aware that some dexterity gaps should be to be filled, because these new technologies are very much specialized, and we all should be thinking to be as close as possible in this concept of ecosystem, just to know about the advantages that we could take about from these technologies, and from our responsibility into the areas for a connected, smart concept, which is the only way in the present, and for sure much more for the future.
Great.
Just
Yes.
to add something, okay? Well, the only thing that I miss from the public sector when does all this is the risk averse, okay? Public sector have to be the one that take all the risks that the private companies cannot take. And this is a concept that it's...
I do not agree.
I know.
I do not agree because as a matter of fact, at least speaking from
love that you don't
our transport authority, we could take examples of innovation,
yes,
in which the transport authority has been pulling the industry to these new concepts of open
yes,
services, scaling services to be assured that they can be scaled up, services that could be understood as interoperable, thinking of new concepts that could be complementing in the future. And in this regard, I should agree in a global sense that the public sector is seen as reluctant to risk if you pair risk with innovation,
yes,
which I am not sure it should be encompassed in 100%. But I think there are examples that give us
yes,
a basis to be, if not 100% happy, at least optimistic.
yes, that's true. That's true that there are examples, okay, that I don't know if there are examples, exceptions, or this is a general. Yeah, it depends a lot of the public administration that we are talking about. Okay?
Yes,
And,
I think so.
No, but I would like to add what you are talking, and of course, public it's needed that the public administration incorporate the innovation process and to change some things that they are doing. And I understand that in mobility there have been some real innovation introduced, but there is a great opportunity to move forward further. But I think there are one question. For example, here we have Sateliot is a company that is a great reference. So we have to take the opportunity that that Sateliot is happening, is created from here in order to join, to take this opportunity from the public administration and to see how we can accelerate more to take advantage of this in order to provide better services.
And I have to say that I am in the best of the environmental. As you know, Generalitat de Catalunya has been always helping us, okay, and we have very good relations with Mayor of Barcelona. But this is not happening in all the levels of the administration. Okay, sometimes it's more an exception than the general view of the use of these super innovative services that sometimes do not work because they are innovative. Okay, and then taking those risks sometimes it's seen as something that it doesn't have to be part of the objective of the public administration as much.
I think it's sometimes a kind of not knowing the potential that this technology can bring to the transport, at least to the mobility ecosystem. It's the only thing I wanted to add.
I've just been told our time's up.
Oh.
But to finish this discussion, I must admit that in my experience abroad, I think Catalonia in particular, it's a great example of collaboration between private and public sector in more projects like Molière with NewSpace and all the European bodies. So congratulations for that, because I'm a foreigner. But our time's up. Thank you all. Thank you for being here, and it's been a great discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.